Chapter 1. In my life there is before and there is after, and that divide started with pain. It was right after the new year, a time for dreaming and looking ahead, and I was home from Boston College for winter break. At the time, my mother was coaching squash in our hometown of Wayne, Pennsylvania, and I challenged her to a game. My mother, like my father, was an athlete. She had played squash, field hockey, and lacrosse at Wesleyan University, and had eventually been inducted into the school's inaugural Athletic Hall of Fame, alongside Coach Bill Belichick and marathoner Bill Rogers. She was a sophomore when she played lacrosse for the first time ever, and by the end of her senior year, she was playing for the national team. My mother was fast and aggressive, and she had unbelievable hand-eye coordination, and on the squash court, I was technically no match for her. Even so, I was determined to beat her. And in sports, determination can go a long way. We got on the court, and my mom put the tiny black squash ball wherever she wanted, high, low, deep, shallow, everywhere. All I could do was chase down every shot and wait until she made a mistake, which I happily did. I still had a chance to beat her when I lunged for one of her perfectly placed shots. As I lunged, I felt a sharp pain in my left leg. Pain, I have come to learn, is a deeply personal thing. The only one in the world who can feel it is you. No one knows how much you hurt, and no one can ever know. You can share your thoughts with others, you can share your joy and happiness, but you cannot share your pain. It is yours and yours alone, and your relationship with your pain may be the most personal relationship you ever have. As a football player, I was no stranger to pain. By then, I'd probably played in a couple hundred football games in youth leagues in high school and college, and I'd been banged up in all sorts of ways. Twisted ankles, broken bones, mangled fingers, you name it. And over the years, I'd learned that in football, pain is something you play through. Pain is something you endure. You don't allow pain to take you off the football field. You don't complain about your pain or use it as an excuse. In football, you swallow your pain, and you play as if you're not in pain at all. In my freshman year at Boston College, one of my teammates, Brian, who happened to be the Big East Rookie of the Year and top NFL prospect, made the mistake of telling a reporter about his pain. He explained that he'd been playing at less than 100% strength, and that the team's trainers made him go out and play anyway. And that was why he needed shoulder surgery in the offseason. The day his quotes appeared in the newspaper, our head coach, Tom O'Brien, huddled us together for a team meeting on our practice field. "You all know how I feel about the media," Coach O'Brien started things off. "Don't tell the press anything. Not your opinions, not your injuries, not your feelings or philosophical observations, nothing." Then Coach picked up a copy of the newspaper and said, "Brian, stand up." Brian did as he was told. "You told the reporter you weren't feeling 100%, Coach said, his face turning red. He pointed to the team's defensive line coach, Keith Willis, who played in the NFL for several years. "Keith, were you ever feeling 100% when you played in the NFL?" Coach hollered. "No, sir," Keith said. "Bill," Coach continued, pointing out our linebacker coach, "have you ever played at 100%? "No, sir," Bill said. Coach O'Brien went around the room and asked the same question of every coach there. Big, tough, strong, hard men, and every one of them said the same thing. "No, sir." Then Coach turned to Brian. "How the hell could you ever be 100% before the last game of the season?" he screamed. His eyes were bulging out of his head, his veins popping. "Don't ever blame the trainers for your bumps and bruises." I sat there stunned. I was just a freshman, and I was shocked to see a player as good as Brian publicly shamed that way. After that, I never complained about any of my injuries. I learned to play through them. The culture of football demands that you deal with pain like you deal with any other minor annoyance. You block it out of your mind so you can go out and play the game. So when I felt the sharp, unusual pain on the squash court, I really didn't think much of it. It bounced right off the imaginary wall I'd built around the pain center of my brain. It felt like something pinching on the inside of my left knee, almost like I'd banged it against a helmet during a tackle. It just didn't feel like anything major. But when I told my mother about it, she immediately shut me down. "Let's take a break," she said. "You just finished a whole season of football." Reluctantly, I left the court without finishing the game. The next day I felt better and asked my mother for a rematch. "We'd better not," she said. My mother was determined to protect me from myself. She knew I was so headstrong I'd play through the pain, and she didn't want me hurting myself any further. "Come on, Mom, just one more game," I pleaded. "I've got to end on a good note." "No way, mister, not gonna happen." My mother took me to my favorite lunch spot, Nudies, instead. I ordered my usual